Alrighty. Intro song done. Transition done. Undeafened on Discord done. Wonderful. Welcome back to another episode of the Neon Podcast. We're already at episode 114, so we are looking pretty in the triple digits now. And joining me today on this lovely Wednesday, a much lovelier Wednesday since the past couple of days of Wednesdays of this damn heat wave. Doughhigh. Hi, Doughhigh. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Neon?
Wonderful. Well, Doughhigh, this is Doughhigh's first time being on my podcast. And yeah, I mean, Doughhigh, do you want to give like a quick little self-introduction?
Yeah. Hello, my name's Doughhigh. I'll redact my first name. Yeah, I'm 32 years old. Just got recently into Super Smash Bros. A lot. That's how I met you. And through the Cyber Muse community, Navajo, Native American. And yeah, and currently civilian working for the United States Air Force.
Wonderful. Well, all respects to you serving in our Air Force. So surprisingly, now that I'm thinking about it, I've had quite a number of people served in the U.S. Armed Forces. Now that I'm thinking about it, like just right now, I'm realizing that it's like I've had you're in the Air Force. I've had Moocat, who's in the Navy. About a year and a half ago, I had a friend who's in the Army, and one of my other best friends, he was also in the Air Force. So I'm like, now I'm just like, do I need to get a Coast Guard, or what other branch am I missing? Marines, there you go. The Marine Corps, there you go. And then there you go. I've had a person of every military branch on the podcast. So that I'm just now realizing this. I'm like, wow. I forget that it happens, because it's not like I see you guys wearing your military garb like in person, if we've ever hung out, or if it's not like you wear your military clothes while you if you've ever streamed, because I know you've done like I've watched a couple of your baking and cooking streams before, so you're obviously just a regular guy on stream as far as people are concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, I try not to say that I'm in the military too much.
Is that just because it's like it's not like it plays a big role in your day-to-day, or does it have a negative impact if you were to say it out loud, or is there a choice, or is there a reason behind it?
To me, it's not really. It's not sorry. To me, it's not really in a negative aspect. It's just something I just don't want to mention.
Okay. Understandable.
Yeah. It's and also we have like operations security kind of stuff, and sometimes I just choose not to talk about it.
Okay, that's totally understandable. I mean, it's like it's not something that you need to bring up in like everyday conversation to begin with. So I mean, I think we talked about this during our like little 5-10 minute screening. I'm just like, dude, I learned a lot about, like, not a lot, but like quick facts about you. I'm like, oh damn, I didn't know that. And if it doesn't come up in everyday conversation, like how are people gonna know? It's just one of those fun facts. It's like, oh, I stream a lot, I like games, but majority of people, even who follow me on like social media, on Instagram, Facebook, they're like, Neron, what do you even do for work, right? It's like it's not like it's obvious what I do, right? Like unlike you,
No.
like it's like you don't bring it up in like everyday conversation.
Nah. Yeah, usually on my IG or anything that I like to post is workout stuff now and cooking stuff.
Right. Oh man, speaking of something that you posted on Instagram, right? that I remember was really funny. It was like, I think you were just hiding in a drawer that you were just like half fetal position in for some reason. That was actually really funny.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff that I like to like. I do like to mess around at work, and I figured since I'm only 5'6", I was like, I can probably fit in this drawer. And so did that, and I had my buddy take a video of it, and he was actually able to pull out the drawer, and yeah.
I mean,
And
even
I usually like to have
then,
fun.
right. Like, but even then, like 5'6" is not like a compact size, right? That's like not short by any means, but still the fact that you could crawl up into the drawer and like tell me if I'm wrong, but it still looked like you could go smaller and compact yourself. So that was a pretty big drawer, dude.
Yeah. It was yeah, it was a pretty big drawer, and I would believe like I would be able to like crawl or make myself. I am kind of flexible, so I would probably be able to like compact myself into something smaller.
Right. So like when you like, I know you say you're flexible and like you work out a lot and you do other stuff you post on Instagram like powerlifting and stuff like that. For you, and I hear this sometimes, or I wouldn't say often, but I hear this from people who do focus on some forms of fitness, right? It's like sometimes it's a trade-off between power versus flexibility on occasion, because obviously um if you're trying to get a little bit more power and bulk up a little, you lose a little bit of that flexibility and what the range of motion per se. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think I would be able to fit in that drawer now because I just started my journey of powerlifting, and yeah, I'm not as flexible as I once was.
So then let me ask you, like, what's the reason you started powerlifting?
So I started my journey of powerlifting because I just wanted to get strong, kind of, and also want. This is very vain of me, but I just wanted to attract more more people.
Hey,
So
that's something, man. Hey, a reason is
yeah,
a reason. I mean,
reason is reason,
yeah, it's like
and
it. Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you
like I
finish
said,
that.
I'll be very honest. I do uh, because of that. I started getting a little bit more vanity about it. But at the same time, I was like, once I started seeing results, I was like, man, I really want to continue this. And then I went to see one of my friends powerlifting meet, and I was like inspired. I was like, man, these guys are like lifting really, really heavy weights. And now my motivation is for next year, I want to do the barbell brigade meets. And
Ooh.
I'm hoping that I have enough power to do that and not embarrass myself.
Hey man, I mean honestly, like I don't think there is embarrassing yourself at those meets. Cuz I do have a couple friends that do go to those meets and compete. Some of them have been doing it for like, they started in their home gym during the pandemic and then they got into it. Some of them did it before the pandemic and they're easing up on their routine now because for them it's a little bit more harsher on the body. Um to keep that rhythm going, and some of them like hurt their backs, but that's different. That's a different story altogether. But yeah, I mean, for me, I really think that majority, from what I see, from what my friends post, right, is that the powerlifting community, especially at meets, is very supportive and wholesome. Like I could be wrong, and this is a very skewed perspective, right? Because I'm just know all this knowledge for me is coming from like second party type of thing. Like I'm just seeing what they post on social media, right? So I mean, because everyone's always like, oh yeah, push harder, you can do it type of thing. But I mean, you've been to a meet yourself where I haven't been in person. I mean, what do you think about your first impressions about the community in powerlifting?
So I was asking that same question to my buddy, and he was saying like everybody in the back is supportive. Everybody's like, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. Oh, do this on your next lift." And he was saying like he got a lot of information off of a lot of people, and it was a really good. He said it's a really good community because everyone just wants to see you uh, be the best that you can be. And I was like, wow, I I would think like competition wise, and like after hearing like they're very supportive of each other, I was like, that that takes away like all the competition in my mind, and it does sound like a really good community that I do want to be a part of.
Right, right. Because like the other reason why I feel like it's also so wholesome because it's like they call it a competition, right? And technically, you are competing against each other, but at the end of the day, powerlifting, even from an outsider's perspective, is right. Is just you trying to beat yourself on your own records, right? Like you're always constantly pushing yourself to get to that next weight, that next rep, right? So I mean, that's how I
Exactly.
see it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
And yeah, I the person that I look up to right now has been teaching me all about lifts and all and everything like that, and he's very supportive of everything that I'm doing right now. And he'll he's like always because when I post some stuff, he'll like text me. It's like, stop doing that, stop doing this. Oh, get this, get that.
It's like he's always like has that coach perspective, right? It's not just as a friend. It's like, oh, nice, Doughhigh. It's like you got to fix your form, your grip, your stance.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's funny. I mean, like, if he's always trying to help you improve, I mean, like, as long as it's not done in a toxic manner, I mean, hey, why not, right?
yeah, exactly.
That's friggin' awesome,
And
dude. Oh, what's up? You're gonna say something?
oh no, no, it just left my mind. Yeah,
Cool. I mean,
and
that's
ac
pretty awesome.
actually, when I was in rehab, I saw some powerlifters in there too, and I was like, man, these guys are like huge. But obviously, they went to rehab, and I actually started. I'm above 250 days sober right now,
Hmm.
and like right now, the gym has been one of the things that's been occupying my mind that I don't even need a drink. And once I come back from a workout and come back from the gym, all I want to do is sleep. So it helped me in that aspect as well.
Nice, nice. Well, congrats for the over 250 days on being sober. That's always a great accomplishment. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, for you, if it's what's your usual daily or like weekly schedule, right? Because obviously you have a job, um you work out. I don't know how long you work out, and then you say you're like pretty tired, and then you just head to bed, right? Like what is an average day or week in the life of Doughhigh? You want to run that by me, run it through me real quick?
Yes. So starting on Monday, I get up around 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
Go, yeah, 4:30. Go take a shower and leave my house by 5. And I bike to work, so that's about 7 miles.
Ooh.
And I'll bike, yeah, I'll bike to work, and I'll get I'll get to work by 6. Uh, and then after that, I'll do work, and lunch is at 11. Come back at 12, and then get off at 3. Go to the gym right after at around 3:15, 3:30. That's when I'll get there. And then after that, I'll work out until 6:50 because I gotta leave by 6:50 to catch the bus because I go downhill when I go to work. So when I'm going up, I don't want to go uphill.
Right, right.
Going
That
back
makes
to work.
sense. Trying to do
Yeah,
7 miles uphill, oh my goodness.
yeah. So uh, I'll do that. I'll wait for the bus, and I meet some very, very interesting people on the bus, and get home by 8, and then at 8 o'clock, uh, I'll take a shower or do some type of meditation or play Super Smash Bros. Or play Diner Dash.
Oh,
And then
I used to play that game. I love that game.
I recently got really into it, so it sucked me in.
Very nice.
Then at 9 o'clock, I'll go to sleep.
Nice. I mean, that sounds like a relatively healthy like schedule because like not only are you like going to work, right? You're going to work via bike and then you're going to work out after and then you have a healthy sleep schedule from what it sounds like, right? You're going to sleep at like around 9ish, 9, maybe if you're a little late, maybe 10. You wake up
Yeah,
around, you say 4:30, right?
4:30. Yeah,
Yeah, dude. Like Spalding said, damn, dude. Like, woo, bro, waking up at 4:30, dude. Couldn't be me, but hey, most impressive, dude.
yeah.
That's
And
something
then
to really applaud. And like, how long has that been your schedule for?
for about 5, 6 weeks now.
Nice, dude. Nice. That's pretty. Like,
Yeah.
is the workout also every day?
Uh, this whole week I'm taking off. Yeah, but yeah, it's been mostly every day.
Nice, nice, dude.
Yeah, there's some days I'm just way too sore that I can't go to the gym. And actually, sometimes I will go to the gym while I'm sore. So, and or it's like again 100 plus degrees outside.
Oh,
So
right. Not to forget that, by the way. Oh my goodness.
yeah, when it's like above 100, I force myself to go to the gym because it's air conditioned,
Oh,
and I don't
mhm.
want to ride my bike in 100 plus degrees.
Of course, of course. I mean, just for the context, right? I don't know how big on a global scale the heat wave was because I know some places weren't affected, like let's say closer to the poles, obviously. But for us here in like the mid regions and like the equator, uh, of you know the planet, I don't know how to really describe it well, but we had a heat wave for like 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks to almost a month. And
Yeah,
especially living here in SoCal, it's like, yeah, sure, we get warm weather and it's summer, but it's already supposed to be the transition to fall, and we were consistently getting like uh highs for like the year. We were like 90 plus, 100 plus, back to back. And then you're in SoCal, right? But you're more inland than me. So for you, your temperatures are even higher than where I am because I'm closer to the
yeah,
coast. So like that's crazy, dude.
yep,
You're literally like traveling and biking at peak heat. That's
uh,
gross, bro.
yeah. And what was bad this week was it rained cats and dogs like bad.
Oh, really?
So I was riding my bike in in straight up like cats and dog weather, cats and dog rain,
Oh my.
and
Okay. Yeah. I don't know because my area, right? Like we got light drizzle rain. Like you're like, oh yeah, whatever. Rain. That this isn't even. This not even real rain. But if it's raining cats and dogs where you're at, oh geez, that's even worse. It's just not even cold rain. It's it's humid rain.
yeah, it was humid rain.
Oh. Oh
Uh,
no, bro. And you still committed to the
yeah,
bike ride. You're crazy.
yeah. Well, actually, I sold my car about 5, 6 weeks ago too.
You sold it?
So yeah, because I because again, like I was actually just going, I was going through to 2022 crisis, whatever. Like I don't want to say midlife crisis because I'm only 32.
Right, right,
So
right, right.
uh, I was just trying to change up my mind, and I felt like if I kept the car, again, where I live at the time when I sold my car, it was like $6 a gallon for like the
Uh
cheap gas,
exact, right, right.
and also I was doing Uber, so when I was doing Uber, or actually I was doing food delivery, Uber Eats, and what's it called? And with that, I didn't have a lot of time for myself. And I would be waiting in parking lots for about an hour to 2 hours trying to get an order. It was miserable. And I'd be sweating inside the car. And I was just like, yeah, I'm completely done with this. And once I sold the car, uh, I sold my junker and then I got rid of the rental. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that was the best decision that I've ever made because I don't have to pay for insurance anymore. I don't have to pay for gas. I don't have to pay for a rental. I don't have to pay. There are just a lot of things I didn't have to pay for, and it me me stop doing Uber Eats has actually put more money in my pockets, and
Wow,
I
that's crazy.
yeah, so and I was happy about that.
Man, dude, that's pretty awesome, dude. Like to make that kind of decision and just like stick with it and even force yourself into this like whether like force yourself in a good way, right? Like you're to still be able to use biking as not just a mode of transportation, but also just like for you another form of fitness, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So I
that's
mean,
that's what I was thinking too. Is it's another form of fitness that I can. The only problem is my food bill has gone up because I'm always hungry now.
your metabolism, you're just burning so many calories, just constantly moving around. Oh gosh. So,
Yeah.
well, okay, then as a follow up question to like your fitness, right? And of course, fitness is not just working out, but also like your diet or quote unquote diet or whatever you put into your body. Did you change how much? Well, obviously you said how much you eat, but did you change what you ate in this process?
I actually started eating more rice, surprisingly, uh,
Hmm.
and because I still need to fuel myself up, and ate a lot more rice, ate a lot more chicken, uh, meal replacement shakes. Uh, I've actually been able to down gallons of water a day, which is great because I feel a lot healthier, and some of the scabs on my face has started going away.
Hmm.
So I was happy about that. Uh, let's see. Yeah, it's just mainly rice and chicken, and you can do a lot with rice and chicken.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
so then if that's what you're eating now, like what did you change? Were you still eating rice and chicken before you started like having this fitness uh workout lifestyle or no?
No. Like so there's a lot of times like be, I think fitness has helped me mentally as well.
Mhm.
And uh when I was because I was going through like yeah, mental health crisis, whatever. And I would eat I would eat my comfort food, which is Church's fried chicken. And
Ooh, that is a great
I
comfort food
would
by the way.
yeah. I would eat that almost every day. It was so disgusting that my pillow started to look like parchment paper.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it was gross, and because all the grease was seeping out of my pores, out of my face, and my pillow was just drenched with grease. And I was like, man, I need to get rid of this. I need to get rid of this habit of comfort food.
Damn, that's crazy, dude. So then like so when you changed, right? Like, you know, for you you're cooking rice and chicken, right? Compared to like buying churches every day. Um, you know, for you in particular, I know you said you're eating more meals, but in overall cost efficiency, do you think you're getting more cost efficient with your meals, or what did you say? It's still about the same.
I'm saving a lot more money as well,
Wonderful.
and I'm also, uh, again, I don't want to bike everywhere, so I would order through Instacart through Aldi or
Hmm.
Aldi through Instacart. So and that helped me a lot because I'm not over at Aldi looking at all these random groceries and putting it into my basket, and I can just order what I need, and the temptation's no longer there.
Nice, dude. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. Damn, man. And so let's, I mean, like, we talked about this in the screening, and like I even put it a little bit, teased it a little bit in the episode title for the stream. And it's most likely going to be the YouTube title as well. But just to talk about a little bit more serious and deeper stuff, it's like you said you were going through like a mental crisis, right? Um,
Yeah.
did you want to talk about that to
Uh,
an extent, or did you want to like
yeah,
go for like a broader kind of approach to that?
I can talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, dude. I
Uh,
mean, all you, bro.
okay. So when I was younger, so I'll go way back. So when I was younger, turns out like I didn't know we were homeless because again, kid, like less than 6 years old.
Hmm.
So we were homeless, and that was that. And then after that, my mom and my dad bought a school trailer and placed it down. And I got so I got so used to like uh, showering or bathing once a weekend. So it was like on a Sunday we'd go
Hmm.
bathe, and we would all share the same water. And I'm one of six, so and then we had an outhouse. So I learned how to dig holes when I was younger. Uh, and we didn't have electricity for a while, and then I would believe that we had a generator later on in life,
Right.
but still, like that, we can only use the generator at night. So, and to me, that was normal living. And like sometimes when it would be summertime, because it was in Arizona,
Hmm.
summertime when it would get too hot inside the trailer.
Hmm.
Uh, and also it was a broken down school trailer, so it was just two big rooms basically.
Right. Right. Right.
And I would go outside, go lay behind the trailer, sleep on the ground because that was the coldest that I could find. So I would be sleeping on the ground outside, inside the trailer or by the trailer.
Hmm.
And to me, that was normal living. And uh, then my oldest brother got into a scuffle with some of his friends. So we relocated to another place called Chinle, Arizona. And at Chinle, Arizona, uh, again, that's where I graduated high school. Then uh, we lived our life. I would believe that we were living with my family and two other families at my grandma's house.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and I think there was only two bedrooms. So, and again, I saw it as normal living because we made do with what we had.
Hmm.
And uh, yeah, my mom got an apartment, which is great. So that was like the first time at 14, like I had a real life, and we were actually able to shower. We actually had electricity, so I was happy about that. And I actually kind of felt normal at that point. And then at uh, so graduate high school, but during high school, I was also working. So I want to say I was working three jobs. I was doing construction
Hmm.
on the weekends, and then also did I was also a server. Uh,
Hmm.
I was also a server at a restaurant, a local restaurant, and then uh, like fourth, fifth, and sixth period, uh, I had another job. So it was like one of
Dang.
those. It was one of those gifted programs, whatever.
Right. Right. Right.
So yeah, I was doing that, and I was always exhausted. And then at the age of 17, uh, it just I was in a dark spot in my life,
Hmm.
and I was just like, man, like, is this all life is this gonna have? Like, just work real hard, work all day, not really seeing a happy ending. And from there, I tied a belt around my neck, tied it to the door, and sat down, waiting to go away.
Mm.
And then from there, I kicked, I think I kicked the drawer and a Bible fell down. So no, that was the second time. So first time was I was waiting for myself, and then after that I was like, you know what, I can't let my two younger brothers go through this. So I got up and I decided to try high school again, high school with jobs. So and
Right,
also
right.
yeah, and then after that it got too much for me again, and then second time around tried doing it again. Kicked the desk or kicked the drawer. Bible fell down, and then one of my coworkers at the restaurant, she was telling me about her church. So I was like, you know what? If this doesn't help, let me just let me just go. Let me just test it out.
Right. Okay.
And once I started going to that church, I was like, man, like there's a different type of love around here. Like my, don't get me wrong, my family, we all love each other. Like we all text each other, and we all like share some good news. And but for me, there was like a different type of love inside this environment, and I was just like, wow, this is crazy. Like I was addicted to that love.
Right, right.
So and then after that, that was like I felt at ease, and there was just like this huge dynamic that was going. And then I got accepted to Le Cordon Bleu, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait! I can't wait to like go to college, and I can't wait to go to culinary school and everything like that. So I was happy about everything.
Mm-hmm.
The night of my high school graduation, my oldest brother was stabbed,
Oh
and he was
shit.
killed. So uh, we went to the hospital, and uh, I saw my brother there, and I was just like, man, like my first task after graduating high school, my first task in adulthood is to bury my brother. So that was that that would play more in later on in life, and I was just like I can't leave my I can't leave to go to college. I can't be selfish. So instead, uh, I decided to join the military. This was the second option, or this was never even an option. But I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go join the military.
Right,
Got
right.
in,
Mm-hmm.
and boom, and that's how I joined the military. And actually, during my graduation that night, I had an aunt because my mom's one of nine, my dad's one of nine,
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's like a
and
huge family tree for you then too.
yeah, it is. And so when I was so so I was listening. I was I was happy that I was graduating. It was during the reception. It was during the reception because we had the reception before the graduation. And overheard one of my aunts saying like, if it wasn't for uh, my younger brother promoting, my sister coming home because she was serving in Iraq at the time, and uh, someone else
Mm-hmm.
and something else, she wouldn't have come. So and at that, so this aunt, she took care of us when I was younger for about a good 3 4 months,
Mm-hmm.
and just hearing her say that, like, okay, I was like, I'm this unwanted type of person. So, and I was just like, man, that kind of sucks. So, I've talked to the aunt a few times, but the damage is done. Like like I,
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to forgive her, and it's just one of those things. It's I forgave, but I didn't forget.
Right, right. Which
Yeah,
understandable.
yeah, and so that was that. That was my high school graduation.
Oh man, that's
So
there's a lot happening all in one day, dude. That is crazy.
yeah, and after that, going into military, and I've never left Arizona at a time. So I ended up going to Texas, did 2 months for basic training, and then went to Mississippi. Then went back to Texas for training,
Mm-hmm.
and then my first base was in Ramstein, Germany.
Wow.
And
Okay, getting deployed all the way over there. Okay.
yeah, so I actually was stationed there for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, man. And at one point in time, I just thought to myself, I was like, whoa, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm in Germany. Like this res kid made it to Germany.
That's great. I
So
know. I know. Like you said, like just all you knew was basically just your hometowns of Arizona. Now you're on the other side of the pond. So, all right,
yeah.
all right. Sorry, but continue.
And then from there, I actually got really into alcohol, like really into alcohol because it is Germany.
Right.
And yeah, and that's where the alcohol begins. And I was drinking all the time. And then after those 2 years, I get stationed here. Sorry, I get stationed here in California,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still drinking and everything. Uh, and then New Year's Eve in 2011. Yeah, 2011. New Year's Eve,
Mm-hmm.
going into 2012.
Right.
Uh, my grandma passes, and she was the one that took care of us. And I had a special bond with my grandma, and like she would just call me like the food worker. But when she had Alzheimer's, I was one of the only few people that she even recognized. So
Mm.
I had and granted, again, she has 9 kids, and those 9 kids have about 6 kids average. So I felt special because I was like, because my grandma remembers me.
Right. Right. Out of the dozens of grandkids too. So right.
Yeah.
Understandable.
So after that, uh, after that, I actually quit drinking for about 3, 4 years because I started going to church as well, going back to church again. And yeah, during that time, one of my sergeants from Germany hit me up, and at this point in time, I'm afraid to drive on the freeway because I've never drove on the freeway.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "Hey, come down to San Diego," because he just got out of the military. So I was like, "Oh man, I can't. I'm too scared to drive on the military. I'm too scared to drive on the freeway." He's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, just come down." So uh, never did it, but I ended up going back to Arizona. And when I was in Arizona, I found out he passed away from severe PTSD. So, which, yeah, the obituary says severe PTSD. So that hit me hard, like bad. And I was
Right.
like, man, I should have. I was like thinking, man, he probably needed a friend at the time. And I was just like, I felt super guilty about it. Like, uh, and this person I got really close to because uh, when I was in Germany, because he was in Germany with me.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of times that that I would be freaking out about something, and he would be there to help me out. And like, I would need to go to the grocery store. I didn't have a car over there, so he would drive from off base onto on base, take me to the grocery store, drop me off, and then go back.
Oh wow.
Like, he was a very selfless person,
Mm.
and I felt super guilty that I couldn't make that one trip for him. So, and uh, that's that. And then after that, let's see. Yeah, and then uh, let's see. And actually, once I started drinking,
Mm-hmm.
maybe about 2 to 3 years later,
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't stop until I went to rehab this past December, January,
Mm.
and from there I was battling with uh, at this point in time at the age of actually at during this a 30, 31, 32,
Mm-hmm.
or 30, 31, 29, 30, 31.
Right.
I was just battling with feeling unwanted because uh, I've I've been single my whole life. I've and then just like little things like from my aunt and from these all like little stuff, and it all just played into my mind. And then again, I was called the ugly child from my family. So I was just like, man, I've always felt unwanted. Like I've always felt like I was never good enough as well. So I would drink a lot of my pain away.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, fast forward to this year, uh, once I went to rehab, dealt with my demons. It still pops up some from time to time, but uh, I dealt with like really good, and uh, drinking. And it's funny too because there's this I saw someone post a joke. It was kind of like so me being bisexual,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, man, I'm unwanted from both girls and guys. I
Oh no.
was like, how bad of a person am I? So
Oh geez.
so I was just like, man, and I was just like, this sucks. So and that just played in my head, and I was just like, man, this I just didn't like that feeling, and I would drink so that I could forget about that. And now I actually really love myself now. Like not like narcissistic wise,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
Of course. So like a healthy, like confident type of thing.
yeah.
Right.
And now I actually do a lot of stuff that I want to do because in my 20s I did a lot of stuff that my friends wanted to do, and a lot of the friends that I did start having,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they were there for themselves, and I chose my friends badly, and I just didn't. Uh, and uh, these friends that I had, they were they were very nice, but they were also there for themselves, and they used me a lot because actually, when I was deployed, one time, my friend asked if he can borrow my car. So I was like, oh yeah, yeah, just take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was following his fiance on Snapchat at the time.
Uh-huh.
She posted that they were in Oceanside and they were smoking weed inside my car, which I never smoked weed ever.
Okay.
And I found that disrespectful. And then once I got back, I saw a condom inside the car. And I was just like, what the
Whoa.
fudge? I was so pissed off. And uh, he'd never changed the oil the 4 months I was gone to in my car. And I kept telling him, I would send him reminders, hey, change the oil, change the oil, change the oil. But he would say like, oh, your car's leaking, your car's leaking. And I was like, well, get it fixed. And he's like, oh, I'm just gonna leave it there.
Oh wow.
He just left it at my house and booked it. And I was just like, what the heck? And
Damn,
then
dude.
yeah, I don't pick the right friends. I, in my 20s, in my 20s, I didn't pick the right friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and there's like a couple of times like I personally wanted to go skydiving,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, hey, let's go skydiving, let's go skydiving. They're like, oh no, no. They were just they didn't want to do anything. And then after that, they're like, oh, let's go to the beach. And I was like, I I don't want to go to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, okay, then you can just take me home. I was like, I thought we were hanging out today. They're like, oh, I really don't want to hang out.
Mm.
I was like, what the heck? So we'd go to the beach. I was miserable, and they're like, what's wrong? And yeah, they'd be like, what's wrong? You're bringing down the mood. I was like, I did not want to be here, and you guys aren't paying me for gas.
Right, right.
Yeah. So yeah, I was a really big pushover.
Right, right. And this would go on for
Yeah,
like how long would you say?
6, 7 years.
Oh wow, dude.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy. Mm.
And it was one of those things. It was like I wanted to keep the friendship, but at the same time, it was toxic. So, and uh, I don't know how I got out of that friendship. Oh yeah, yeah, because he got married. My friend got married, and I decided. It was funny because once he got married, uh, he forgot all about me as a friend, but he needed me to help him with all the stuff.
Oh wow.
And I was just like, yeah, I'll help you out. I'll help you out. I He was like, oh, I want to go work out here, but I need tools. And I was like, I have some tools that you can probably use. So, and then he would take the tools, never return it,
Oof.
lose it, and he never went to work.
Damn.
And I remember, I actually did remember getting mad at him at one point in time, saying, because he was just like, uh, he was like, oh, I really need to find a job. I really need to find a job. I was like, well, Jack in the Box is hiring, or Little Caesars is hiring.
Mm-hmm.
Just go get a food service job. And he goes, oh, that's beneath me. And I was like, you're poor. You can't provide for yourself. So, and I was like, food service is not beneath you. You're pretty much beneath it right now.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I got pissed because I worked food service before the military, and again, they all thought I was spoiled. Or but there's two or three of them. They all
Right.
thought I was spoiled, and I was like, you guys have no idea.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And even though after they knew my story, like
Mm-hmm.
they're like, well, you're still acting spoiled, or you're still spoiled. I was like, how? And these guys had everything provided for them. When Yeah, and I was
Right.
just like,
Yeah, these guys are crazy, bro. These guys are fucking crazy, dude.
so
Holy.
so I didn't choose the right friends when I was in my 20s,
Mm-hmm.
but at that point in time, I actually don't even talk to them anymore because I still trying to keep the contact in,
Mm-hmm.
but they decided to like not respond to me or do anything like that.
Right, right.
They they got what they needed and they left basically. So I was just like, yeah, but that was just like I don't know, like I didn't know how to choose friends in my 20s. Like right now, I do have a few friends, and
Mm-hmm.
I do like I can call them up and they'll help me along the way.
That's good, dude. That's
Uh,
good.
yeah. So I finally found quality over. I found quality over crappy.
Well,
Yeah.
so then as a question, right? Like whether it's versus hindsight and, being in the moment, right? For you, would you say that because you said it was about like 6 or 7 years. Did you realize this like in the moment, or this is more so it's because you've gotten older, you've matured through a little bit more? Like for you, what was your how did you come back to be able to talk about this kind of stuff and tell these stories in your opinion? So and in your experience. So basically, let me reword this question. Sorry, because I fumbled that with just a bunch of words. But in your opinion, did you realize it in the moment, or was this more so just hindsight and maturity over time?
It was hindsight, maturity over time, and I think it's because, again, or actually, I'm the middle child.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when I was growing up, my brothers, my older brother would always have friends over.
Mm-hmm.
My younger brother and my youngest brother would always have friends over. I was the only one that I didn't have friends over
Mm-hmm.
because I was a very shy kid in high school, and actually I may have had two friends over, and yeah, that's about it. But but I would cook for all of them. Like, I learned how to stretch that dollar when I was
Right.
younger,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, I felt like I was needed. And once I found these friends, uh, again I had it. Like, I think I reverted back, and I felt like I was needed, and
I see. I see.
that was one of those things. Is I'd never, I'd never, because I would do anything for my brothers, and but not being around them for so long, that I found two two to three friends that needed stuff, that needed things, and I that was my gratification, was to feel needed. And I think it was just me being, even though it wasn't me, it was the stuff that they wanted. Again, I would feel like, because I had the stuff, what they wanted, I would
Mm-hmm.
feel wanted. I would feel wanted by proxy.
Right, right, right. It was more so out
Yeah,
of like, yeah, like you said, out of proxy, but it was like also just like
yeah,
that familiarity,
yeah,
that you just knew it. It was like, oh yeah, this is what, generally what makes you feel good. And at that point, it's like it's all you knew, right?
yeah.
Because you're always busy doing something, right? Especially in high school, like you said, you're working like three jobs, right? Like this is me helping to condense the story in my own head by like talking out loud, and like obviously I'm
Yeah.
just like repeating it back to you, and you obviously know this, but also like I don't know if this helps for anyone also listening, but again, just for me, for my comprehension, but and to also help me potentially understand your perspective. Obviously you can clarify, but um and putting my own little potential, like my own insight from my perspective, just from what you're telling me. But for you, right, like you said, like that's basically all you knew, right? You didn't have time for yourself, right? And then when you did have quote unquote time for yourself, it was uh that time was still dedicated to others. So and
Yes.
in turns it was, and it's like, oh, if they wanted to hang out, regardless of whether it was the need for you, the need or want of you, or the want of whatever you had, right? Like by proxy, it's like you're like, I still want to get that general feeling, right? So
Yes.
I see, I understand. Okay. So like I'm
Yeah.
not, and I'm not gonna say that like I know what you've been through and what you experienced, right? And like you've been, like you said, you have more life experience because you're older than me, and you've had um you've had your own stories. But for me, right, it's like I can only say I understand so much, and can understand what you went through only just by hearing these stories from you, right, directly from you. And we especially as a society, right, like we'll hear these stories told on the internet, whether it's like a documentary series on YouTube, something on Netflix, some sort of movie, right? Or, and, to hear someone, I've personally been able to hang out with and connect with over the past, what, like 2 years or so, right?
Yeah.
Um,
2 years.
yeah. And it's crazy to know someone, like I know we're not like the closest friends by any means, and I appreciate you having on and reaching out and being able to get on my podcast. And but like this shows that, because you don't know how close to home some of these stories hit for some people, right? It's like I would have never known that this is how you grew up, and this is the type of different mentalities and different phases of life that you've been through. And to say that you've gone through all these different experiences, emotions, situations, and all, and like, you know, all of, not all of them, but so many of them being hardships, right? And for me, it's just like, dude, I have even more respect for you, and, you know, people who were able to support you through your journey thus far. And for me, right, like, and I can't speak for anyone else, right, that how do I word this in the way that I want to make sure it gets across in the way I want it to. But uh for me, right, it's just I appreciate you coming on here and being able to tell your story, right?
Yeah, thank you.
And because, you know, you're a very, very strong individual despite whatever you've been able to go through, and you've been able to learn and grow through that. And, you know, sure, you're telling me we're going through particular instances and stories where obviously, within context, the stories being told tonight and today, right now, have like negative instances, and for some, might be hard to hear, right?
Yeah,
But, you know, not, and similarly to people who don't watch these documentaries or just stories about people, is that these are not like uncommon occurrences in, not even just like the US, but like the world, right? These are not uncommon to be heard of. And it's just, there's so many people affected. And to take that broad scope and now to just to focus it back on you, right, Doughhigh, it's just like, um it's just, there's so much to unravel at this point, because like, you know, we've been able to hear, you know, just a fragment of what you've been going through. And like, you know, you're still going through the story, and then like you're still be able to, you know, at the end of the day, and like, I don't know if it's because of your current demeanor and your mentality, but now you're just being able to tell a story, and you're able to, like, you know, laugh it off, right? And like a lot of people, including myself, you know, there are even smaller things that we experience and a lot less hardships, and we would still not be able to laugh it off as the same way you would be able to tell your story how you are doing right now. So I mean, like, more props to you, my dude. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, sorry, like
Uh,
I went on a bit of a tangent there, but I mean,
oh
like,
yeah, no worries, no worries, no
I
worries.
just wanted to like say what I'm feeling about this right now, because it's like, it's just so many questions, but so many things that I just want to say, and like, it's all out of respect and love, bro. So
Yeah,
like, I know you still have some more to the story, and obviously you can continue telling, but I just wanted to say that right now, and, you know, I want to give that sense of at least appreciation and um like affirmation to you. So at this current moment. So I mean, if, you know, if you want to continue with more of your story, please do so,
yeah.
or whatever else you want to talk about.
Okay. Well, it is, yeah, because it is September. It's Suicide Awareness Month, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it is September. It is Suicide Awareness Month, and I did want to bring on that little incident that I had back in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I actually don't feel that way at all. I've been completely healed from it, and
Wonderful,
but
wonderful.
I still go through uh, struggles of, again, being wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think that's my biggest struggle right now, and being wanted for myself. But at the same time, actually, this whole year has I've grown a lot. I've actually started taking care of myself. And there's a lot of things that I want to do that I'm actually able to do on my own. And it's funny because even though I got rid of the car,
Mm-hmm.
I still go to LA. I still go to Irvine. I still go to all these like different places and eat what I want to eat and go where I want to go. Because
Wonderful.
there's always a way. There's like the Metrolink, there's bike, and then there's the bus. So so yeah, and I'm just like I I I feel a lot free getting rid of that car.
Mm-hmm.
Getting rid of the car, I feel a lot more free. And yeah, what's it called? Like right now, I'm trying to get rid of some stuff. Trying to get rid of like a lot of stuff around my house, and just getting rid of like little by little. It's it's giving me a sense of freedom and a sense of calmness. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like I can't explain it, like the sense of freedom that I'm feeling every time I get rid of something.
Right, man. You're like Marie Kondo up in here, man. Freaking
Yeah.
dude, taking out all the clutter from your like life right now, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, like, you say you're doing what you want. You're feeling more free, right? What are
Yeah.
some of the things that you've been able to do now that you've been able to feel more free? Like, are they like activities, events,
I
places, or yeah, what are just some of these things you do?
I went skydiving.
Oh, you've actually went skydiving. Nice.
I went skydiving. Yep. Uh let's see. I am going to the gym a lot more, which is something I've been wanting to do for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually happier like working out by myself. And sometimes when I see friends there, I'm happy to work out with them. But I don't need them to work out with them. I don't need them to work out. So, because I think I have like a lot of codependency. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what it's called. Yeah. But now that's actually gotten me free. I can go to LA and just try foods that I want to try. Like, uh, I got really into Asian cuisine within the last 2 years.
Nice.
uh, let's see. I uh, I don't have a lot of people to wait on anymore, which is great because before when I wanted to go somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
I would hit up my friend and they would say like, "Oh, we don't really want to go." So I was like, "Oh
Right, right,
crap!"
right.
And they're like, and then like 30 minutes later, they would text me, "Hey, come pick me up. We should go here." And
Oh
again,
wow.
that was that feeling of being needed
Mm-hmm.
that I would that I was so attracted to that I was felt like I was needed. And then we would go to some random place, and I'm just like, why did I even come here?
Right, right. Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah, I went.
I'm glad you're able to do the things that you want to do now, and like be able to, regardless of if it's with someone, be able to still do the things that you want to do and feel accomplished and happy about your decisions, bro. So hey, more power to you.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, oh yeah, go
actually,
ahead, go ahead.
actually, it's funny because there's a few times that I want to go to a concert.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, one of my buddies, he's does a Christian concert. He does Christian concerts.
Mm-hmm.
He travels the United States, and he texted me one time. He's like, "Hey, I'll be playing in Phoenix. You should come over." Got the text message. took a shower, packed some clothes, and I was already out the door going to Phoenix.
Dang.
6 hours away. As soon as I go there, I went to the Waffle House. I went to the Whataburger, and also went to Culver's. And I went to go see my buddy, uh, do his concert 3 nights in a row.
Dang, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So it was like something I just want to do. So uh, I think David Archuleta was playing in Santa Barbara, and I was like, oh man, I actually want to see him too. So one day I just got up, went to go purchase a ticket, and then I was already there in VIP.
Nice, dude. Nice. Spalding says Culver's concrete mixers go hard.
Yes, they do.
Nice, nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome, bro. I'm glad you're able to do those things, right? And personally, right? Like it's wonderful to hear this from you, right? That you were able to go from, that sort of toxic friendships, if you could call them friendships, at looking back at it, versus and being, doing the things that you do now, and by yourself, regardless of whether you need someone else's like sign of approval, or being able to go out with them, right? And for me, I'm still struggling to do that, right? And being able to hear someone who has gone through an even tougher situation, like, it helps motivate me, right? So because for me, it's like, I've not by any of the means, because we all live our different lives, but it's only for this time being to be able to compare, how simply not as difficult my hardships were compared to yours. And it's not healthy to compare by any means, but to still in my own experience, to be somewhat codependent, being able to, I still don't feel completely 100% confident in like my own skin and the things that I do and go out and do in the world, right? It's like, oh, does anyone want to hang out? And if no one says no, I'm just like, oh, okay. And after, like, during the pandemic, it probably was the worst for me, because I just couldn't see my friends, and I like being social. But then I realized, slowly but surely, that um that I should also be focusing on myself and
Yeah.
being able to do the things that I want to do, similar to you. And um for me, and I feel like for the both of us, right? And I can't necessarily speak for you, but for some people, right, going out, exploring the world and doing the things that you want to do isn't just a want, right? It's more of like a necessity, right? And I like,
Yes.
yeah, because it's like, for me, right, it's like, sure, I can stay inside, I can be comfortable, I can even work out in my own home, right? And game and stream, right? Like, I've become a more regular streamer in the past couple of years. And thankfully, I do have some regular people coming in chat, yourself, Spalding, the other VIPs, and just regular chatters. But at the end of the day, at like the core of my being, I still want to go out, do things, and explore. And for me, now that I've realized that I do want to do that, right? And I try to be less dependent on whether my friends want to go out and do something. I'll invite them. And like, if they want to go, they want to go. It happens from time to time, like, going to Japan, going to the certain concert, traveling for vacation for a city with them, or like even just like simple stuff like hanging out, right? And like, recently I posted on social media that I did a spontaneous photo shoot with a friend that um, from college that I haven't really talked to in a couple of years, and we managed to reconnect over that kind of stuff, and we both enjoy that type of thing. Is that I still realize that I should be selfish for myself,
Yes.
And obviously, like, I have things to take care of. I have a family to take care of. I have bills to pay, like some mouths to feed, and people to care for. But at the end of the day, it's like I understand that these things, like, I support these things in my life, but for the times and things that I can take for myself, that it's important to do so. And honestly, it's taken me near like over 20 years, and being an adult for only, what am I, 26, or maybe like an adult for maybe 8 years, even though I was a bit, coddled and uh privileged growing up, being able to, even despite like growing up in a lower middle class, right? But even then, that's still something. And sheltered, right, is still being able to go out and do things and do what I want. And like again, just to go back to the main point, is to know that you've been able to do that and hear your stories and how you've grown and done the things that you've been able to do. It's just, it's reassuring, it's motivating to me. And to go on to another one of your points is, like, not feeling wanted, right? Yeah, it's not selfish to take care of yourself, but like, it's exactly Spalding, but like more selfish to be like, put myself as a higher priority relative to some other things in life, is what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of selfishness. And sure, depending who you ask, it may or may not be selfish, because people like to think of themselves more than others. And like, when someone puts themselves over you and it's like, oh, that's being selfish, I'm like, well, yeah, because it's me. You would do the same.
Yeah.
In my position, yeah. Um, but, and like I said, going back to another point that you brought up, is like not feeling wanted. I go through that insecure. I feel like I've gone through that insecurity pretty much a lot of my life, right?
Yeah.
And that's probably where also like part of that codependency comes from. It's like, oh, I always want to do something with me, but it won't be as fun if no one's with me, because it's like, if I'm doing it, why, I don't feel happy if no one's validating me, right? And I realize
Yeah.
I've come less and less accustomed to getting that validation. Like, sure, I still seek for it here and there, and like, it's just the modern age. Everyone's always connected in some way, and they'll see something and someone will say something eventually, or if not say something, they'll keep it in the back of mind and they'll bring it up later, whatever. But the point is, right, like, um being able to connect with you on this, it's just like, dude, it's crazy to hear this story. And that's why I'm just like, I have, again, so even more respect for you, and being able to know what you do, and how you do it. Because like, for you, right, you said this has only really happened in this past year, right?
Yes.
You went into rehab in December, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, this lifestyle change only happened like a couple months ago, and I'm like, dude, that's a crazy turnaround for someone in a year. And to be completely honest, and even some people can't get a turnaround like that in a few years. And just more props to you. And for those, if anyone else is like listening and feeling any uh any form of being alone and not being able to share your thoughts and feelings and situation with someone. And I know my podcast doesn't have like a big outreach um in terms of influence, but I mean, even if one person that I don't know is listening, watching the stream or even the YouTube video recording, right, and they listen to this and they're like, dude, these, like, Doughhighs is like insane for going through this, or like Neon, he's talked about this on different episodes or throughout his other streams and stuff, right? It's like, I don't want people to feel like they're alone, right? And like you said, this is it's September. It's Suicide Awareness Month, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's good to bring attention to these kind of things, to let people know they're not alone. There's people out there to support them, whether they know it or not. So
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my ramble. So I mean, Doughhigh, what else you got for us, man?
Oh, well, speaking of, oh, some of the stuff that you're bringing up is kind of, I, when I was talking to my, I was seeing a therapist for a while,
Hmm.
and she's also brought up, like, there's a lot of people that will, like, because sometimes you would feel selfish, and sometimes you would feel like nothing's going your way, and
Hmm.
you would think, man, this is like first world problems and all stuff. Man, like you start comparing yourself to other people in horrible situations, kind of like, why am I feeling like this? These guys are having it worse. These guys are having it worse. Uh, but uh, my therapist was telling me, it's like when someone says, oh, that's first world problems, or when you think to yourself, that's first world problems, you got to
Hmm.
think to yourself, well, I live in a first world.
True.
Yeah.
That's an interesting
And
way. I've never actually heard it put a spin on that. That's a good one. Okay.
yeah, so because a lot of people will like try to invalidate
Yeah.
like your problems by saying, well, that's a first world problem. And you just got to remind yourself, well, I live in a first world. So, and it's funny because I actually go a little bit beyond that
Hmm.
because I was, one of my friends would say like, man, that sounds like a first world problem. I was like, uh, yeah, but the thing is, people in the first world can't handle third world problems, but third world problems can't handle first world problems.
True. That is
So
true.
I was like, the thing that I find that what this is probably gonna make me sound like a bad person, but the thing that I found was the third world people, they have love, they have a sense of community,
Mm.
and us being in the first world, I don't want to say like third world, first world, or all this stuff.
Right.
In our situation, it's uh we have things, we have stuff, but not most of the time we don't have that sense of community. We don't have that feeling of love. We don't have that feeling of wantedness.
Mm.
So it's kind of a trade-off. So I feel like I feel like one's more one problem, one side of the spectrum is more on the physical realm and the other side is more on the spiritual mental realm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Because everyone's trying to focus on different things, right? Like
Yeah.
people have their own priorities. It's like you know, to oversimplify things in a just to make an example, a scenario, right? Like third world developing countries, right? It's like they're just trying to survive, and they're happy with what they have because they don't need those extra things to necessarily be happy, because it's like even if they did have some of those nicer things, is it really going to change how they live their life versus like all the people and, like you said, the communal love around them, right? Versus where people here, right, especially in like the US and more specifically Southern California and like LA here, right? Like you said, it's just we don't have that sense of community. everyone
No.
everyone wants to focus on them, and it's like, if you're not with me, you're against me type of mentality. And like it's become more and more apparent that nowadays it's type of that. And people, except for like unless you're like a kid, right, and you have that naivety as a kid to be able to just make friends because you're friends. But as an adult, right, it's like people don't want to waste their time on something that they don't see beneficial to them. and
Exactly.
and because everything becomes transactional, right? It's like, oh, I'll help you if you can help me. Whereas people don't want to have those um whereas people don't want to have those transactions if they don't see a net gain on their end. And it's crazy to think that that's how people, want to move forward. And obviously, right? Because, we like, on the converse side of things, right? Because we talk about like, people being selfish, right? And trying to do the things that they want. But at the same time, you know, why not at the same time try to help someone out? It's just make the world a potentially more positive place, whether it's more positive for you, but how I see things is potentially make things more positive around you. And
Yes.
I'm not a perfect person, not even close, not even close, right? But, you know, and I am occasionally rude to, people, and I don't make the smartest societal decisions to make, for the quote unquote greater good, right? And obviously, in a subjective or objective sense, it's just there's a lot to consider. And, if but even if you are able to make a positive difference in someone else's life, I think, why does it need to benefit you if it can, potentially you pass it on and do something for someone else? Because humans are inherently selfish, in my opinion. But if you are able to like just help each other out, not even just once in a while, I think it can make a huge difference. And people are outside of their immediate circles not looking to, like you said, not looking to um feel that sense of community and build what outside of their comfort zone. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah, and
mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, being in California, again, I don't have family around, and I do rely a little bit more on friends, and that's a big reason why I gravitated to people who were a bit needy. and,
Right.
and uh, so, and it's weird because coming here, like, I see a bunch of people with family, with friends, with loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
and I personally get jealous because I can't just go down the street and go visit family. And uh,
Mm-hmm. Did you have something else, though? Doughhigh, you there? No, no. I don't know what happened, but you. Oh, hello.
and yeah,
Okay. Okay, you're back. You're back.
I'm right here. Oh, okay.
Okay.
And I was just like, whoa, this is the cyber music community.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, this, in my mind, I was like, this is so weird. But at the same time, I was like, man, how am I so lucky? And I was just like, because I actually didn't start watching Kevin's videos until like 3, 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny because when I hear it, everyone's like, "Oh, you were my childhood. I grew up with you." I just like weird. I didn't know about him until I turned 29.
It's crazy. Like you say 3, 4 years ago, it's like he wasn't even posting anything.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
But
mean,
hey, and actually did want to touch on another thing that you said. It's kind of like you said making a difference in someone's life, even if it's just that one person,
mm-hmm.
and that's uh, that's how when I would go street preaching with the church,
Mm-hmm.
um, it was one of those things that they kind of harped on us. It was kind of like if you have if we just save that one soul, if you make a positive impact on that one person,
Mm-hmm.
If it's just one person, or even if you just get the word out there, like you're still you're still doing a good job. And I always kept that to heart, and I've always thought, yeah, all you need is that one soul to help that one soul.
Yeah, I mean, that's like how, I wanted to, I grew up because I grew up more old fashioned despite just because as a person, as a kid who grew up a lot on the internet, right? I grew up a little bit more old fashioned. And it's like, I always grew up with anime and superheroes and like trying to make a difference in the world, right? Trying to be positive, if possible. Obviously, I've now become a more jaded and fucking type of like Squidward. I hate people. I hate the world type of individual. But at the same time, it's like sure, I hate the world as like a whole, but every single person and individual is their own case by case basis, right? Like you know, like a person can be smart, but people are dumb. Like that's like a quote from fucking Men in Black 1, dude. So it's like I that's why I treat as individuals. And if people want to be identified as a group, then they'll be identified as a group. But if I can interact with people one on one and have uh, that interaction to potentially make that a positive difference, even if it's a small positive difference in their life. If even if it's just to make them feel better for a day, um, or for that 1 minute, that split second, I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm glad I've been able to do something, right? Um, so I try to give people a chance. Um, if they're willing to give me a chance, I'm willing to give them a chance. And
Yeah.
that's why like something my dad's taught or helped teach me is like you don't have to like someone, but at the very least you try to treat someone with respect. And if they don't treat with you with respect, then that's up to you whether if you want to continue interacting with them. You know what I mean? That's what I learned from my dad, because you're like, I don't like a lot of people, but I have respect for them, you know?
Yes.
So I think that's for me, that's my basis. And that's what something my dad grew up helped me grow up with. And to point out something that G4 said in chat earlier, it's like, dude, you just been always such a positive person in our community, and we're like happy to have you. Like, and also, you know, if you don't mind me asking, right? Like I know we've talked about this like on the side before, like a year ago, but you know, you don't have to do this, nor do you do it as much anymore. But how come you're always so willing to gift out subs to people's communities, like as like a final closing thought for this episode? Because it's like for you, right? Because community building is so awesome, but it's like monetary values is like something that we as free content creators don't necessarily expect, because it's not like it's our jobs, it's not our livelihoods. And for someone like yourself to go out of your way to donate so much of your money to individuals like myself, right? And like we appreciate it, but it's like where does this where does this come into play for you? It, so
Uh, so my mom would always say, money comes and goes, people don't. And
mm,
uh, I, oh God, uh,
that's gonna be
yeah,
denied, G-force.
yeah, money comes and goes, people don't. And again, it was, I think, me losing my supervisor,
Mm-hmm.
at uh, the one who lived in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when I think that that did hit me hard, and uh, at first I was donating to Yoshi's Sudarsos,
Mm-hmm.
and I I remember him off of 212 or 210 apartment 210 videos.
Okay.
And him, Manny, and the other John and John. And I felt like, because when I was going through my hard times, when I was just going down a very, very like horrible path, uh, I actually discovered their videos. Actually, this first discovered. This was like 4 years ago now. 4 years ago now. I think I looked up how to be an adult, or how to adult, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I looked that up,
Mm-hmm.
but a Wong Fu video came up, and it was Wong Fu with Justin Min, and I was like, I kind of recognize this guy from I don't think it was probably 4 or 5 years ago, because I don't know how recent that was, but Justin Min was in the Umbrella Academy,
Mm-hmm.
something like that,
Right.
and I was like, I recognize this person. So I decided to watch that video, thought it was funny, and then I saw like the next video was like dating after college. So I was just going down a rabbit hole of Wong Fu videos, and then after that, it recommended me Kev, and that's when I found Kev's stuff. And then after that, I started watching Apartment 210 because that was correlating with it. And then I was just like, this was my first time like getting into Asian YouTube. And then
So you went down a whole
I,
rabbit hole of just Asian YouTube.
yeah.
Oh
And
my
then I
gosh.
seen the Wasabi Productions.
Oh yeah, Sean
And
was.
then
Mm-hmm.
I saw, what's the last, Ryan Higa.
Mm-hmm.
I started watching his videos. And then after that, it took me to JK. And then, yeah, all right, just kidding.
Yeah. Right.
And
Right.
I was like, and just watching all these videos, like all their past videos from back then, I was laughing. And anytime like I was so depressed, anytime I was just like feeling down and out about myself, I would watch their videos because they would always crack me up. Like I was addicted to watching those videos.
Oh man. Yeah.
So
I still go back
and
to
then
watch some of those videos myself. So.
yeah. So once I found that Yoshi was on Twitch, I was like, huh, Yoshi's on Twitch. So I started donating a lot because I was like, and I think I've had a private chat with him before,
Mm-hmm.
and I told him, I was like, without your content, I probably would not have been here because I was spiraling down.
Mm.
And then after that, I'm pretty sure I told Kev this too. Without your content, I probably would not have been here because I was spiraling down. Like you're like if because without them knowing, they gave a lot to me, and therefore I can give a lot back. And then with Kev's like very tight. He's very tight with the Cybermoose community,
Mm-hmm.
and all you guys welcome me with open arms. Even though I was so disrespectful, I was drunk all the time. Like you guys still like from my knowledge, you guys are still welcoming with open arms,
Yeah. Of course,
and
dude. Of course.
that's why I was like, man, I feel a sense of community, and I was just like, you know what? Let me go. Let me throw in a few bucks over here because I I feel like you guys actually helped me a lot as well, getting through the bad times, and it's great because now after it was at the tail end
Mm-hmm.
that I've met you guys, and then once I went to rehab, like you guys see me at my worst, but you guys or not worst, but or I don't know if it's worse, but or it was getting there. It was getting there. Well, you guys see me spiraling, or you guys were there when I was spiraling. you guys didn't know it at the time, most of you guys, but I was spiraling like really, really bad.
Mm.
And now you guys are actually able to see me on the rise.
Hey man, that's
And
hey.
and
Hmm.
that's why I donate a lot, because I was just like that's why I do donate, because I was like, you guys help me mentally, I can help you guys monetarily.
Hey man, hey, I mean, if we can help in more ways than uh in other ways mentally too. I mean, like we don't need the money, right? Like we're just streamers for fun for the most part. But at the same time, I'm like, I appreciate what you do, and like those words. I'm like, dude, we're, especially for us, like the regulars, right here around the community. Like we're like, we're part of the community. We'll support each other when we can, do our best, right? It's like some of these guys, like they're in my chat right now. Like these guys have been around for over a year and supporting my own stream, and you know racking up their channel points and stuff like that. And for me, right, and it's like, for me, that's support that I appreciate. As far as and I always tell this for other people's whose communities that I like to meet, is that um you know my community was not, or people in my chat were not, if I can even call this a community for my sake, but just to use for like layman's terms, my Twitch community was not built organically, right? It's like it's a hodgepodge of multiple communities and meeting people, and they just happen to come back to my channel every now and then, and I appreciate that. And similar to yourself, it's like, hey man, if I see you around, we can talk and chat it up, and we're all to be supportive of one another. And like, now you've been inducted into one of the people who've been on the Neon podcast, yay! And I'm like, and I would love to have you back for another episode when I can. And these are
Nice,
these
nice.
are great talks. And again, like, even I know, like, that you said that you wanted to help push, like, for like Suicide Awareness Month because it's September, and like you wanted to tell your story. But for me, like, I didn't know how you were going to tell your story, what your story was about. But this has definitely also helped me appreciate you more, and appreciate that, again, that I myself and a lot of others, that we're not alone in our own struggles, and everything is never an isolated case. Rarely it ever is.
Yeah.
It's just people just don't hear their similar stories and have uh, support systems as unique or wide or broad or reachable as some others. So you know, at the end of the day, it's just especially for us, right, in our community, I think every little bit is appreciative. And if you show up and you are part of it, hey, you're part of the family. You know what I mean? That's just who we are. I mean,
Yeah.
and like, again, I can't speak for anyone else, and I'm just like paraphrasing on like how I vibe with other people's energies and their thoughts. But you know you support us, we'll support you, as in hopefully a similar fashion. And
Definitely.
yeah, that's it's just I always wanna just give back. For me, it's always trying to give back when I can, where I can, because like I said, I do this for fun, and if people want to join the ride, then you're welcome to join the ride, as long as you're not hurting me or anyone else who's trying to join the ride. So that's what really matters. And yeah, man. I mean, we've been at it for about an hour 40 now, just a little under.
Whoa.
Yeah, time's flying. And since this was a relatively heavier topic kind of episode, um I'll forego the post podcast show. And because it's like, I don't want to downplay anything that we've talked about this episode. And So, I mean, for you, is there anything else that you want to talk about or quickly touch upon or even shout out and stuff um, in the next short couple of minutes?
Uh, I don't think so. Actually, probably. Maybe. I'm not too sure. And that was my spiel.
All right, man. Well, I mean, like I said, you have me on social media, you have me on Discord. You're always welcome to hit me up on stuff. And
Oh wait, I got something.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Uh, yeah. Thank you for allowing me on your podcast. And I was actually that was as cheesy as it is. Uh, I was like, someday I'll be on a Neon podcast. I was like, I know I'm not in the media, but I was like, you know what? In my mind, I was like, you know what? Someday I'll be on a podcast. I'll be on his podcast.
There you
Let me work on my stuff first.
go. Oh
So,
man.
yeah, and yeah, like I said, it's as cheesy as it sounds. This was actually a goal of mine. Oh, once you posted that, I was like, oh, I gotta go for it.
Hey man, I'm glad to be part of a goal, you know, despite how cheesy it is. It's funny how you say that. I'm just like it's not like my podcast episode is like special or anything. It's just something I do for fun at the end of the day, and just to have
It's
a reason to talk to people about either dumb shit or like today's episode, like some real serious stuff, you know? So I mean, I appreciate that, man, and I'm glad to have you on, and I will welcome you to hopefully have you back on some future episodes. So thank you, Doughhigh.
hey, it might be special to one person. That
Hey,
one soul. It might be
hey,
special to that one soul.
yeah, and just like Spalding says in the chat, thank you for sharing, and also for G Sports hanging out with
Yeah.
outings with the homies or dates depends on which homies. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's not like like I said, this new podcast, you know, sure, depending who I bring on, it might be more dumb, but today, you know, when I talked to Doughhigh a couple hours ago, when I gave him a quick little screening and asked him if he wanted to talk about anything in particular, he wanted to talk about something serious, and I'm like, I want to respect that. And you know, my podcast is like, I'm down to support what he wanted to talk about. And so I mean, you know, there you go, Doughhigh. You're on the
No,
first
thank you.
your first episode and be able to, you know, talk your talk. And I'm glad to be able to, for like, again, for you to be able to share your experiences and let me again be supportive, feel supported, and be share this type of like more wholesome energy, you know, to bring it full circle, like how we started this episode, right? To
Yeah.
people listening and watching to this episode. So um yeah, it's just yeah, it's just it was a good time. It was a good time to
Is yeah. Sorry if I made the mood all somber.
no,
Yeah.
you're good. You're good. That I
Yeah.
was like, it's like I told you, getting serious with Doughhigh. That's the episode title. We got
Yep.
serious. We got real serious there, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, and do you,
So
uh-huh. So,
I was gonna say the story behind that
mm-hmm.
photo.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Make it
Uh,
like, let's make it quick and then we'll wrap it up.
yeah. Uh, so that photo was taken in Germany, and I was like, I me being super cheesy at the time, like go Air Force, like proud Air Force person. I was like, you know what? Let me try to make it native. So I was like, you know what? I can try to make it native. So that's why I have the Pendleton blanket. I got the arrow from a yard sale. I made the bow, or the bow was from a yard sale. The arrow I made. The bandana is something we had, and I just wore my blues. And I think on the bottom I have moccasins on too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I was like,
Oh.
how can I make the worst cursed photo cheesy? This
I
Air
mean,
Air Force Native Pride.
like you say cursed, but I'm like, but like it would have been cursed if you weren't Native American. Then it would be cursed because at that point you're
Oh
being
yeah.
racist. But you're Native American, so I think it's okay, bro. I think it's fine. And like you're also like a very proud Native American. You know, like we talked about this off stream. Like you're Navajo, you fucking love your fry bread.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so I'm like, dude, I don't I think it's just really funny in context knowing you. So I mean, if people didn't know you and they said it's racial, I'm like, dude, he's fucking Native American. Why the fuck? It was his choice. So I mean, hey man, it's really funny in context. It's really fucking funny. So I mean, that's why I said when you sent it to me, I'm like, I fucking love it, dude. This is fucking great. This is the most Doughhigh photo I've ever seen. This is like so like you, bro. It's so funny. All right. All
Okay.
right. Thank you again, Doughhigh, for being
Thank you,
on here.
everyone. Thank you for having me on
Of course, of
again.
course. But yeah, if you're watching on stream, I'm probably gonna be ending this stream right now. I may or may not turn stream back on again, depending if I decide to play anything. If you're watching on YouTube and you watch all the way through, thank you for watching all the way through. And if you do watch all the way through, leave a comment saying fry bread. If you decide, so I know if you actually watched all the way through or not. Um, but yeah, so yeah, say tomorrow, Thursday, a little bit of Smash, followed by Dungeons and Dragons, and and if I turn stream back on later tonight, it's a possibility, not a guarantee. Um, yeah, thanks, and once again, thanks Doughhigh for coming on, reaching out and being able to be someone could be able to talk and have this conversation with, man. So once again, September Suicide Awareness Month, and if there's anything to take away from this episode, it's for at least from my end, try to help someone out. Whether you know the outcome or not, try to help. Yeah, I mean, Doughhigh, any last words?
Uh, Remember, you don't have to like the people, but you have the choice to love them.
There you go. There you go. Mike, what's up? All right, but thank you once again. Everyone say bye YouTube, and yeah, we'll end the stream, no post podcast show today, to keep it serious and keep it on this lighthearted note. So bye YouTube.